Hello, I'm Sneha Koshri. Amid the continuing Israel-Gaza war since militant group Hamas carried out one of the deadliest terror attacks in Israel's history on Saturday, deaths, devastation and losses are mounting on both sides. With over 1,000 killed in Israel and over 830 in Gaza. According to the latest releases, Israel is pounding Gaza with deadly airstrikes as the military has threatened a complete siege of the area. Several people have been displaced. Meanwhile, the Hamas has said it won't negotiate on the hostages it has taken from Israel until, quote-unquote, the end of the battle. Hamas is believed to have between 100 to 150 people hostage and have threatened to kill them should the aerial attacks continue without warning. Amid the raging war, my colleagues from NDTV, Kadambini Sharma and Uma Shankar, have been reporting from ground zero. In fact, the hotel in South Israel's Ashkelon, where NDTV's crew was staying, was targeted by Hamas minutes after their deadline to evacuate southern cities of Israel ended. They had in fact returned, my colleagues had in fact returned to the hotel after Hamas's threat. The NDTV team is safe and took shelter in a basement as a rocket struck their hotel. This is their first-hand report.
The NDTV crew was out shooting in the Israel war zone when the militant group Hamas issued a threat of bombing the city of Ashkelon. The group asked the residents to leave by 5 p.m. Israeli time as it threatened to launch rocket launch attacks on the city that has seen the worst of Hamas attacks in the past days.
ये वीडियो शूट करते समय ही हमारे पास ये जानकारी आई है कि फिलिस्तीन जो चरमपंथी संगठन है हमास ने वो जो गजा पे हमला हुआ है उसकी एवज में उसने धमकी दी है कि एश्केलोन शहर पर वो हमला करेगा और टेलीग्राम पोस्ट में उसकी तरफ से लिखा गया है कि जो स्थानीय समय के हिसाब से 5 बजे तक लोग इलाका छोड़ दें जो आम लोग हैं.
The NDTV crew decided to return to their hotel, recording the scenes of devastation all along on their way. Hamas had posted the threat on its Telegram channel. Just moments after NDTV's Uma Shankar Singh and Kadambini Sharma returned to their hotel in the heart of the Ashkelon city, that it came under a direct rocket attack by Hamas militants. All those present in the hotel had to rush to the safe zone in the basement as sirens blared in the Ashkelon sky.
In this bunker, it's all it has happened.
ये जिस होटल में हम हैं आज यहाँ पर रॉकेट सीधे यहाँ पे रॉकेट गिरा है और इसके बाद जो है आग लगी है और धुएं की वजह से जो है यहाँ पर सायरन जो है वो भी बजा है. हम एक बार देखने की कोशिश करते हैं कि होटल के जिस हिस्से में ये हुआ है वो.
After the attack, the NDTV crew came out to take stock of the damage caused by the direct rocket fire. There was fire and smoke all around the hotel as Israel Defense Forces arrived on the scene.
गाड़ियों का जो एक ये देखिए और यहाँ अब ये एम्बुलेंस यहाँ पे पुलिस पहुँची है. ये हमारा होटल है. ये होटल है होटल रेगिना गोरेन और यहाँ डायरेक्ट हिट और यहाँ पर जो इजरायली पुलिस है वो पहुंची. तो हमें इन्होंने कहा है ऊपर जाने को.
Ashkelon has seen Hamas rockets in the past 4 days. The militant group has threatened more attacks in response to Israel's bombing of Gaza. The NDTV crew is safe and has left the hotel.
ये मेरा कमरा है और ये कमरा तो अभी सुरक्षित है और मैंने जो भी चीज़ कमरे से मैं उठा सकता हूँ वो उठा के कुछ खाने की चीज़, नमकीन, लैपटॉप और पावर चार्जर ये सब लेकर नीचे जा रहा हूँ क्योंकि जिस बड़ी तादाद में यहाँ पे हमले हो रहे हैं सारे फ़ोन ये सब लेकर नीचे जा रहे हैं ताकि कम से कम हमारी जो मोबाइल की बैटरी है वो चार्ज रहे और जब तक सुरक्षित हैं तब तक खबर आप तक पहुँचाते रहें. तो बने रहिए हमारे साथ. मैं और हमारी सहयोगी कादम्बनी शर्मा वो अपने कमरे में हैं, वो भी अपना सामान पैक कर रही हैं नीचे जहाँ तक जितना भी हम लेकर जा सकते हैं. तो मिलते हैं तुरंत। और इस बार तो ये हमें हेलमेट भी उठाना पड़ रहा है, जिसको पहनने से हम अब तक बचते आ रहे थे।
We are getting reports about homes that have been directly hit by that rocket fire. And this is just another element of Hamas's attacks and terrorizing of the Israeli public. And I'm very happy that your team, of course, is okay. But this, I think, gives an idea of just one element of the horror that Israelis have been living with since Saturday morning.
और ये देखिए, जो गाड़ी यहाँ थी और रॉकेट ने हिट किया, वहाँ ज़मीन पे गड्ढा है, और इस गाड़ी को उठा के यहाँ इस जाली को तोड़ते हुए, इस दीवार और इस जाली को तोड़ते हुए पहुँचा दिया। और कदम ने ये देखिए, जो होटल की जो बालकनी है।
जी बिल्कुल। और ये इम्पैक्ट जो है, एक तो आपने गाड़ी देखी कि क्या हाल हुआ है इसका, और सब कुछ यहाँ पर जला हुआ है बिल्कुल। और ये तोड़ते, यहाँ पे जो ग्रिल लगी थी वो तोड़ते हुए गाड़ी उस तरफ जा गिरी है। रॉकेट का ये इम्पैक्ट है। और उस बालकनी पे और इस बालकनी पे यहाँ भी अभी कुछ लोग शायद शिफ्ट किए थे, इन पर भी ये पूरा इम्पैक्ट हुआ है, जो कि साफ अब नजर आ रहा है। खिड़कियाँ, शीशे, बालकनी सब टूटे हुए।
एक और बात, जो उस रात को हम जब चेक इन कर रहे थे होटल में, तो ठीक इसी जगह पे खड़े थे जब ऊपर से रॉकेट आना शुरू हुआ। और तब तो खैर यहाँ नहीं गिरा रॉकेट, और हम उस समय हमें लगा कि खतरा इतना बड़ा नहीं है, लेकिन अब ये देखने के बाद लगता है कि कहीं भी कभी भी कुछ भी हो सकता है।
बिल्कुल।
तो यहाँ से हम
we need to be careful and we are careful, but we will be reporting every bit which is happening right here from ground zero.
सहयोगी कादम्बनी शर्मा के साथ उमा शंकर सिंह, NDTV और NDTV इंडिया दोनों चैनलों के लिए।
My colleagues Kadambini Sharma and Uma Shankar reporting from Ground Zero. Now, amid the raging war, IDF spokesperson has spoken exclusively to NDTV's Vishnu Shom on Indians in Israel, saying they are one among us and that we are trying to keep everyone safe. Let's listen in.
Major Libby, is a ground offensive now inevitable?
Any decision along those lines is something that would have to be made by the cabinet. But what I can say from the military perspective is that we are prepared for whatever the government decides. We are preparing for any operational eventuality and for any option along those lines. And we will take our instruction from the government if and when they make that choice.
Major, is there any information or evidence of an Iranian link, a direct Iranian link at this stage?
What I can say is that we know that Iran has been a long-time supporter of Hamas, both providing significant financial support and other types of support, weapons, training, other things along those lines to Hamas over the years. And we do, of course, think that there is some degree of fingerprint of Iran on the actions that Hamas has taken. But I don't have any more additional information that I can discuss about this specific event. But we certainly know that the connection between Iran and Hamas is long-standing.
What is your message, Major, for Indian nationals in Israel right now? We've got hundreds of students who study in your country. We've got any number of Indian nationals who work in your country. What is your message to them?
The message that I have for them is that, of course, we see them as part of our whole country right now. And what we are doing is to keep everybody here in Israel safe. We will not stop until our country is protected. We truly feel a sense that we are fighting for our homes, for our friends, for our loved ones. And we see certainly the Indian community here within Israel as part of that. We are here for them. We are fighting for them as well. And we so value our friendship with them and our relationship with them. And they are one of us. They are part of us in this and in our fight to keep everyone safe.
Now, remember, it was on Saturday that Hamas launched over 5,000 rockets against Israel in an unprecedented attack that also managed to evade Israeli intelligence, considered one of the best in the world. Who are the men behind this attack?
The militant outfit Hamas that has carried out the deadliest attack in Israel has always been at war with the Jewish state. Hamas was founded in 1987 by Sheikh Ahmed Yassin, a Palestinian refugee living in Gaza. The paralyzed man who used a wheelchair spent years in Israeli prisons and oversaw the establishment of Hamas's military wing, which carried out its first suicide attack in 1993. Israeli forces have targeted Hamas leaders throughout the years, killing Yassin in 2004. Khalid Mashal, an exiled Hamas member who survived an earlier Israeli assassination attempt, became the group's leader soon after. Mashal, who survived an Israeli assassination attempt in 1997, was head of the political bureau until 2017. The group that runs the Gaza Strip is presently headed by Ismail Haniyeh, who now lives in Qatar. Haniyeh was the prime minister since 2006 till 2014 after Hamas won elections. Yahya Sinwar is the Hamas leader in Gaza now. Sinwar, who is a link between Hamas Politburo and its deadly military wing, Al-Qassam Brigade, has been arrested by Israel on a number of occasions, spending a total of 24 years in prison. He was among the Palestinian prisoners released in exchange for Hamas's freeing of Israeli soldier Gilad Shalit in 2011. Sinwar is a votary of reconciliation with Mahmoud Abbas-led Fatah that runs the Palestinian Authority. Israel has said that its forces have bombed Sinwar's house during its current raids after the Hamas attack. Mohammed Daif has been the head of Hamas military wing Al-Qassam Brigade since 2002. Al-Qassam Brigade is behind the current attack on Israel. Described as a shadowy figure, Daif has survived multiple assassination attempts by Israel. The US State Department has designated him as a terrorist. During the 2014 conflict between Israel and Hamas, Daif was the mastermind of Hamas's offensive strategy. In 2014, Israel confirmed that it tried to assassinate Daif with a targeted strike on a house in which his wife and 7-month-old son were believed to have been killed. The many attempts have reportedly left him in a wheelchair after losing an arm and a leg, while other organizations have claimed he has also lost an eye. Daif is a hardliner among the hardliners and has been opposed to any idea of Hamas giving up violence. Bureau Report, NDTV.
And these are some of the worst images that capture the ongoing Israel-Gaza war. A war which has left a trail of death and destruction, innocent civilians caught amid the conflict. Images that have gripped the world's imagination.
It's been 4 days since the start of the Israel-Palestine war. Images that have gripped the imagination of the world.
This is the parking there.
Multiple rockets and missiles reduce buildings to rubble. And people mourn the loss of their loved ones. In an era when there have already been multiple mini-wars, the world watches aghast as another one unfolds.
It's time for a short break. On the other side, news and updates will continue. Welcome back. 32-year-old Kannur native Shija Anandan, working as a caregiver in Ashkelon in Israel, was injured during an attack by Hamas on Saturday. Several people in Kerala are reportedly stuck in Israel amid the war with Palestine. A pilgrim group from Kerala was also stuck in the war, but they have, according to reports, told their families that they are safe. Now, an estimated around 18,000 odd Indians are employed in Israel, and the vast majority of them, around 14,000 itself, are caregivers to the elderly in Israel. Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has written a letter to External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar urging him to intervene in every possible manner. In the letter, Pinarayi Vijayan has stated that over 7,000, that is almost half or little less than half of the number of Indians who are living in Israel, that's around 7,000, are from Kerala and are stranded in Israel. Now, even as there's a war raging in Israel, Palestine, offensives and counters being launched, the world is split on siding whom. Let's just see.
Day 4 of the Israel-Hamas war. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu dialing Prime Minister Narendra Modi, updating him on the ongoing situation. Prime Minister Modi reiterated India's firm support to Israel. He also strongly and unequivocally condemned terrorism in all its forms and manifestations.
Israel and India relations are very important. We are two nations that are democratic nations. We are welcoming any attempt by your Prime Minister to mediate or to advance peace. Hamas is a terror organization, but if Modi can make the miracle, we will hold our finger for him.
Palestine's envoy to India has also called on Prime Minister Modi to play the role of a mediator.
India is a friend of both, and India could play a good role as a mediator between both of them. India understood very well the Palestinian cause since the Mahatma Gandhi, and hope they will play that role.
Meanwhile, united support for Israel and a strong condemnation of Hamas, as US, UK, France, Germany and Italy issued a statement after a call between the heads of the states. Woven into the statement was a veiled threat to Iran and the Hezbollah. Our countries will support Israel in its efforts to defend itself and its people against such atrocities. Not a moment for any party hostile to Israel to exploit these attacks too.
But when we say that we stand with Israel, we mean it.
In a precursor to this united show of strength by the West, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin ordered the Ford carrier strike group to sail to the eastern Mediterranean on Sunday to assist Israel. Looking at the other axis, on Tuesday, Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman told Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas that the Gulf Kingdom stands by the Palestinian people, putting a question mark on the normalization deal between Israel and Saudi. Reports suggest that Qatari mediators, in coordination with the US, have held urgent calls with Hamas officials to try and negotiate the release of Israeli women and children held hostage in Gaza, in exchange for the release of Palestinian women and children from Israel's prisons. Turkey's Erdogan is striking a neutral stance in the Gaza conflict. He assured leaders of both Palestine and Israel that Turkey is doing its best for calm to be restored. And the UAE has condemned the Hamas attack, terming it a serious and grave escalation. China, meanwhile, has condemned all violence and attacks on civilians and called a ceasefire. Clearly, the world stands divided on the Israel-Gaza war. Given Prime Minister Modi's not an era of war stand, the big question is, could India play the peacemaker? In New Delhi, this is Maria Shakeen.
Now, news that seems to be just emerging. European Union has opposed Israel's total siege of Gaza and has backtracked on the Palestinian aid freeze over Hamas attacks. It's time for a short break.